Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Malts and Meeples. This is going to be the last Monday stream at 8:30. This is just a thought I had. Obviously, I'm 5 minutes late to this already. I like to try and get the podcast knocked out before I stream. For those of you who don't know, I do a podcast about Marvel. May not be applicable to your interests, but that I edit on Monday nights. And it used to be really fast. I would edit after I streamed. But now it's a longer podcast, so I edit it before and after I stream. I'm going to be switching that up. If I had another half hour of time, so 9 p.m. Central, I would have enough time to get through the podcast basically every single time. Which means starting next week, and I do plan to stream next week, though it might be more of a chat to talk about Gen Con or who knows what. The plan is going to be to start at 9. That will just be a minor change. Content for Mondays isn't going to change. Today, we have a little solo game orchard and a little margarita. So good. But let's play. Like I said, this is just a chance to hang out and chat, really. And get some more games in, because I haven't necessarily played a ton of games this month. Though, past Tuesday, I did play one of my top games from Gen Con 2022. Got to play First Rat again. Played that twice. That's one of my top games, easily, from Gen Con. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I am very much... Ooh, nope. Doesn't connect. Okay, that one does. I'm very much in the midst of all the Gen Con coverage for myself over on nerdologists.com, but also then for just in general other people's thoughts, what other people are excited for. And I don't know, in some ways that's as exciting and interesting as my own coverage. Well, hopefully my own coverage is interesting for you. I fully expect my own coverage to be less interesting for me. Let's do it. We're going to kill that one. So this is overlapping kind of like I was last week, except this week I have these bad apples. They're not negative points, but they allow me to break the rules of what's covered. And there's a lot of good coverage out there. There's a lot of content creators that put in really good effort, turn out some really cool coverage on things. I don't want to do that, but that's 2 10s. You know what, I'm just gonna kill that top section. And I, like everybody else, am interested in getting good coverage on things. So it's been fun to check out like Man vs. Meeple. Let's see, where else? Tantrum House, Roll for Crit, I believe it's called. Just a lot of different coverage. Brothers Murph, Paula Deming. Who was I watching? Today I was watching One Stop Co-op Shop. video that, like a live video that they had done, which was really fun. Yeah, a little bit of everything, really, for what I watch for coverage. There's a lot of it out there, and there's a lot of reason, I think, and a lot of ways to get hyped up real quick when it comes to Gen Con stuff, because I guess even the Dice Tower I was watching today, they're going through the list of everything that you could buy. That's what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday, because it's always fun to look at that BGG list and say, all right, what is there in there? Let's see how well we did to start here. 10, 20, 30, 43. I think that's above average. Average is 38 and a half. So yeah, 43 is above average. Good start. My best is 60, which is ridiculous. I kind of wonder if I accidentally had an extra card in there at that time. But I want to try and, I don't know, figure out more Gen Con related stuff to do. Obviously, I'm putting out articles. Yeah, we'll do that. I have a plan, potentially. I have to decide if I like said plan once I see this card. Oh, I could just do that. I was thinking I could do this. I kill that one spot. I'm going to do it. Go big or go home, as the kids say. Or somebody says. Probably just me. Red, yellow. Sure, let's do that. 6 and a 1. Ooh, perfect. So 3, 6, 10, 1. But right now, like in Gen Con terms of stuff, I'm definitely in that figure out the plan of attack. Which is very much what the article that I wrote today was about. Like, how do you plan out your Gen Cons? Because I think there's a few different ways, and I laid out what I thought those were in the article. Because you don't want to come in with, I would say, no plan to Gen Con. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do. Can't do that one there. It's a bummer. I'd love to be able to drop that one there. But nah, can't do that. Could do that, not that great. That's better. I wish that lined up. You know, it's just, I want to get that one on my hand. And I'll look at this for a few seconds here. Think about the horrible mistakes I made. Mainly, there's not enough time to do everything at Gen Con. You can't do all the events. You can't play all the games. And now we'll do this then. That's going to be much worse. You can't just 36. Not bad. You can't just plan on... Well, you can plan on playing only stuff in the dealer hall. I do think that is a viable option for Gen Con, but that limits your kind of day at Gen Con for the hours that the dealer hall is open. I looked at my scheduling and I didn't fully intentionally do this, but there's one day I have a 1 o'clock event. Otherwise, the latest I have a morning event start is 10, and that's for an hour-long event. The earliest I have an afternoon event start is 4. So generally I've left that middle stretch of the day for going around and demoing things. That was somewhat intentional. I do remember, like, when I was planning events, thinking, all right, I want to make sure that I leave myself space to spend a lot of time in the dealer hall. That is the area I like to spend most of my time. I guess we're doing this. There's a reason for it. Okay, and I'm going to flip this one right now because I want to double check that I didn't want to play this one out. I do not, because this one is going to get played on top, so it's a 3-3, 3-3, and I killed off both of them. But wandering around the dealer hall definitely works. Nice. 6, 6, 6, 3. Works well for me because my personality-wise is I got no problem sitting down and playing a game. Nice. Is there a better spot to play this? There, but I can't because that's covered. Same number of 3s, so let's do it. 3, 3, 1, 1. So when it comes to, like, wandering around Gen Con, I go, if there's a game that looks interesting, if there's room at a table, I'll join a table. I'll join random people who are playing a game that I'm interested in, because I'm interested in the game. And I look at it this way, like, everybody's here for the same thing, to game and to try out new games. If you're only there to game with your group, you're kind of missing out the point of Gen Con, or you're being too exclusive about it. I understand that you might want to only play with your group, but then that doesn't mean if you're playing a 4-player game and there's 3 in your group sitting down at a table to demo, there's an empty chair. That means I can sit down at that chair and join your group. If you don't want that to happen, buy the game, play by yourself. That's my thoughts on it. Some people might disagree. Let's see. 36. 46. That one's very solid. But that's kind of how I treat it, and my personality-wise, like I keep saying, is I'm very fine with just hanging out and playing a game with whomever. It doesn't matter if I know you or not, because we're all there for the same reason, to play games. To buy games, to see whatever is new, cool. And if you're sitting down to play what looks like a cool new game at a demo table, I'm going to hop in. Did that with First Rat. Or I'm just going to find an empty table for a demo. Sit down and just wait until somebody joins. Nope. This is not a great one to start with. Let's check out this one. Fine, we'll do that. Obviously that would weird, though, kind of how I treat Gen Con would weird some people out. I totally get that, because I'm actually fairly quiet in real life. Quiet, contemplative, extrovert. So come up and say hi if you see me. I will gladly chat with you. But I totally get why, and it's because people assume that about me, that some people, that is much, perfect, trickier to do. The idea of going up to a table full of strangers and joining them to play a game, or vice versa, especially in a non-ticketed event setting, I get it, is going to be weird. Not for me, but that's, I think, a weird thing about me versus... I want to do that. Yeah, I want to do that. Other people. I totally get the not being that interested in that. In which case, I do think that the scheduled events are much better, because scheduled event basically says, hey, I'm planning on playing this specific event, this specific game, and everybody else who is joining me for that game, even if I don't know them, are there for that specific game. It's not like a random person who happens to sit down and join you at the table with a demo in the dealer's hall. It's 20, 30, 40, oh, even better, 50. The average is going up tonight. But we're reaching the tough part of waiting for Gen Con. One, it's so close now. I am going to be headed out in 9 days. So I head out the Wednesday before Gen Con, drive from the Twin Cities to Indianapolis. That takes basically the day. Though I tend to start early. I'll probably hit the road at 6:30ish or so, just so I can avoid traffic in the Twin Cities during rush hour. And that puts me out there at, like, I don't know, let's see, it's 10 hours, or it's 9-hour drive. So 9-hour drive, and I lose an hour. I don't know, what is that? So 6:30. So, okay, I have to do this off my fingers. 6:30, 7:30, 7:30, 8:30, 8:30, 9:30. So about 5. And I will go to my Airbnb and just chill that evening. There's some events that go on, like there's Sun King Brewery down around, I think they have a food truck or a mobile tap setup that you can go and they'll tap their Gen Con special beer, which tends to be, I'm assuming, is a decent size get together, but we'll see if I join in for that. Alright, this one's starting different. I wish that fit. That's a double. Alright, gotta come up with something here. I guess that works. 3, 1. But I guess we're doing this then, because that's a solid one. Not for like chaining, but it's a solid one. Don't know why I did that, really. I really don't know why I did that. Alright. So anyways, kind of back to the Gen Con plan, thoughts, chat, whatever. This one is not going to be that good. Can already tell. 631. It's at the point with thinking about / planning for Gen Con where a lot of what I'm thinking about is, okay, what might I want to pick up? And that's some of what it is. I come in, if you go to Gen Con, I definitely highly recommend doing this. Go with a budget. Don't go in like, oh yeah, I'll plan to spend blah de blah amount of money, or I'll just buy games that look interesting. You want to know how many games look interesting at Gen Con? Yeah, this is going to be a garbage score. Almost all of them. Could do... No, I can't do that. That kills too many. Could do that, I guess. It's kind of hot garbage. Now let's do it. Because then I'll come in here. But, I mean, I like to think about 10, 20, 33. A general idea of what games I might be interested in, or if there's anything super specific that I might be interested in. I very intentionally, I believe the dealer hall first day opens at 9, or is it 10? I forget whatever time the dealer hall opens at. I have events scheduled basically that time. The CGE room is open before then, so I'll be chilling around that area, maybe trying to pick up a game of something if they have anything ready to go. But then I'm doing Arnak expansion immediately, which I'm so stoked for. But I don't run to any game. If it's there when I want to pick it up, it's there. If it's not, it's not. Any game is going to come out later. I mean, in terms of like Gen Con exclusives or anything like that, Gen Con exclusives are like promos or stuff along those lines, and that's not worth running for. I mean, and then it's any game. Any game is going to come out, or let's say a game doesn't actually come out. What would be the circumstances that something would be available at Gen Con and it won't come out? I can't even, that doesn't compute to me. There's no realistic reason to rush for something. And I'm even I even do content, and I'm not going to ever run out. You can't run. They will escort you out at Gen Con. But yeah, there's nothing that I would walk briskly for. Just because I can get it later if I want. Or sometimes they'll be available later days. They might only have put out so much on the floor the first day, and they kind of just allot it throughout. So if I'm really interested, I can try and rush some other day. But even that, I'm like, man, I'd be so hard pressed ever. I mean, I really do mean it. I'd be so hard pressed ever to run for a board game. I love my games. I love playing board games. There's no doubt about that. I guess we're doing... Yeah. We're doing this. I'm not even going to put it on there, because that's just moving too many dice. But, yeah. Why put in the extra effort to get something that I can get at a later time? 42. Especially, like, rush in, grab a big game, let's say it's something big, and then you lug it around for the day. You run into Gen Con, you get it, you hop on a shuttle, go back to your car, put it in your car, and then go back to Gen Con to start your time at Gen Con. Yeah, no. That is just silliness to me. I'm there to have fun. I'm there to play games. I'm sure some people look at it as an opportunity to maybe make a quick buck. Grab what they think the hotness is going to be. Hope that it is right. I'll do it. I hate to immediately get rid of my mismatches, but that is a strong start. Now I don't have a great next play, as expected. But I don't know if... Let me know if you have any particular ways that you like to tackle, especially that start, or how you enjoy kind of planning events, anything like that. Because I don't think that my way is per se the right way or the only way. I think that I totally get why some people like to schedule out a ton of events, or maybe don't even schedule out any events. That one's a little bit weirder for me, because that means that your Gen Con ends earlier than other people's. Because dealer hall closes, what you gonna do? Don't even know if that was the smartest move. This one's gonna be tricky to fit in usefully. No. 6. 1. And then I wish that fit. Guess I could have done that. Can't do that. Can't do that. I know where this is gonna go. I'm just gonna put it there. I just wanted to see if there was another spot for it. The answer is no, shockingly. 10, 20, 30. It's still good. 42. Alright, back-to-back 42s. Let's play one more game. Why? Because one more game will put me to 550 plays of this over the lifetime, and just over half an hour. So, in the description, I did mention Lord of the Rings. The Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings. Well, Magic the Gathering is what I mentioned. Because I have been diving into that. Not necessarily playing yet. This is a set that I definitely had interest in collecting. And especially once I picked up a few packs, the artwork is awesome. No, I am not the person who pulled the One Ring. That would have been ridiculous. Nope. I had no illusions about that, though. I'd love to have been that one person, but the odds were very stacked against you to pull that, as they should be. Actually, I don't know how they ever would have been stacked for you to pull something like that. Come on, did I set myself up this poor? I think I did. I think that was a mistake on that first play. But I really am loving the set, though, just because the artwork is so fun. Just trying to track down different pieces of the set. I definitely am, like I said, kind of collecting it. I have 2 binders that I'm slowly filling up with cards from the set. Can't do that. Could do that. Not super useful. This one, I think, it doesn't slot in as well as I'd hope. Let's just do that then. This is going to be a bad score. Could do that. That'd be dumb. Can't do that. I guess I could do that. Could put it in there. Yeah, let's do it. 3, 6, 1. 1. Dead. Best play here. Purple yellow. Got no purple yellows there any good. So it has to be that. Alright, let's see how poorly I did here. 10, 20, 33. But as I was saying, what the Lord of the Rings said, I mean, eventually I might just slowly push for completing that over time. Add on singles to board game orders to hit free shipping levels, stuff like that. But it's such a good set. And I do want to play it. I do not want it to purely be a collection. I played Magic for a while, and I got rid of my Magic cards for the most part because I did not want to just have a collection. The group I was playing with, we all moved on to different jobs. And we played, well, we got married, so that cut into our playing time. And then a number of us moved on to different jobs, so that cut into playing time as well because we play at lunch at work. So I sold my stuff. Lord of the Rings set's going to be back in. Doctor Who is going to keep me in. After that, though, like the next 2 universes beyond are Final Fantasy. Not super connected to that, though it's an IP that I want to explore more. And then Assassin's Creed, also not super connected to that, so that will kind of be a nice jumping out point, though we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do for them, what the sets look like, but definitely the next one coming up here after Lord of the Rings with Doctor Who, I'm very interested in. But with that, thank you so much for watching and listening to my ramblings. Hopefully it was semi-coherent in terms of what I was talking about. I was able to stick to some sort of general idea. On Wednesday this week, I'm going to be talking about all the games for sale at Gen Con in 2023, at least those listed as for sale for the first time at Gen Con on the Board Game Geek list. Obviously, classic games, there are going to be a lot of those that are available for sale or just games that have been out for a couple of years, like Turing Machine, one of the hot games last year. There'll be copies. You can buy that at Gen Con. It's not going to be on the list because it was there last year for the first time. But that's going to be my big plan going through the Board Game Geek list. I did the demos. Now it's time to go through on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central the games for sale. Tomorrow, Wednesday, on nerdologist.com, I'm going to be putting out my top 10 games to demo at Gen Con. And then probably Friday, I'll be doing my top 10 games to buy at Gen Con. So look out for those lists over on nerdologist.com. And if you want to see the article I mentioned or just the general articles that I put out, check out nerdologist.com. Now it's time for me to get back to editing the 10-minute Marvel podcast. And that's just a Marvel podcast that I run with a friend. With that, thank you so much for watching, hanging out. If you enjoy this content, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe. All of those things really do help that people find this channel grow. With that, bottoms up.